In the manicured cul-de-sac of Willow Creek, where every hedge was trimmed to perfection and every driveway gleamed, a quiet war was igniting. Marcus Thompson, a 34-year-old software engineer, stood beside his Navy electric vehicle, its charger humming softly in his driveway. He'd moved here for peace, a place to build his future. Every permit for that charger was filed, every HOA rule followed meticulously. But across the street, Evelyn Carter watched, her arms folded, her gaze sharp with something more than neighborly curiosity. She called his charger public property, her voice carrying an edge that cut deeper than the words. To her, Marcus wasn't just a homeowner, he was an outsider. Her accusation wasn't about the charger, it was about his presence in her carefully curated world. Marcus felt the weight of her stare, a familiar sting from years past. But he wasn't new to battles like this. He'd seen traps set by prejudice before, and he'd learned how to turn them against their makers. Evelyn's bold claim was about to unravel in a way that would expose her biases to the entire neighborhood, leaving her legacy in ruins and Marcus's resolve stronger than ever. Marcus had chosen Willow Creek for its promise of tranquility. After a decade in Silicon Valley's relentless grind, he craved the calm of suburban life. A black man with a sharp mind for code and a passion for sustainability, he'd launched a startup focused on green tech. His electric vehicle, a sleek Navy sedan, wasn't just transportation, it was a statement of his values. The charger, professionally installed by his garage, was his first major investment in his new home. He'd spent weeks navigating the HOA's labyrinth of rules, securing approvals, and double-checking bylaws. Marcus wasn't one to draw attention. He waved at neighbors, joined the community's online forum, and kept his lawn pristine. But Evelyn Carter, the HOA's unofficial enforcer, was impossible to ignore. In her late 50s, with a clipboard always in hand, she patrolled Willow Creek like a queen guarding her fiefdom. Her online posts nitpicked everything: unapproved mailbox colors, slightly overgrown shrubs. Marcus noticed her scrutiny intensified when it came to him. Her emails about his charger began politely but grew pointed, questioning its legality and calling it a community resource. Her tone hinted at something personal, her words laced with coded jabs about fitting in. Marcus sensed the undercurrent of bias. He'd felt it before in other places. He started saving every email, every post, his instincts warning him of a bigger fight. Curiosity burned. Why was she so fixated on him? He wasn't just defending his charger. He was defending his right to belong. The tension in Willow Creek simmered, then boiled. Evelyn's campaign against Marcus's charger grew relentless, evolving from subtle digs to a full-blown crusade. She began at HOA meetings, her voice commanding as she framed the charger as a violation of the neighborhood's aesthetic harmony. She claimed it was a public utility, implying Marcus was selfishly hoarding it. Neighbors, swayed by her authority, murmured in agreement, though some hesitated, their eyes darting to Marcus. He sat quietly at these meetings, observing, his laptop open to take notes. Evelyn's allies, a small but vocal group, echoed her complaints, citing vague bylaws about external equipment. Marcus checked the rules nightly, confirming his compliance, yet the accusations persisted. Online, the community forum became a battleground. Evelyn posted daily, her language veiled but sharp, questioning Marcus's intentions and suggesting his charger disrupted the community vibe. He noticed patterns in her posts, similar. Complaints had targeted a Latino family's garden statue years earlier, and an Asian couple's solar panels before that. All were dismissed for lack of evidence, but the intent was clear. Marcus dug deeper, accessing public HOA records through a friend at the county office. The paper trail revealed Evelyn's history of targeting minorities, each case cloaked in technicalities. Her tactics escalated. One morning, Marcus found handwritten signs taped near his driveway, declaring the charger community property. Neighbors slowed their cars to read them, some nodding approvingly, others avoiding his gaze. He removed the signs, his jaw tight, and installed a high-definition security camera. Its red light blinked like a sentinel. Days later, his Chargers app logged unauthorized access attempts. Someone had tried unplugging it at 2 a.m. The footage confirmed his suspicions. Evelyn, in a dark jacket, tugging at the cord, glancing nervously around. Marcus's heart sank, not from fear, but from the familiarity of it all. He'd faced this in college, in his first job, subtle exclusions dressed as policy. But he wasn't a kid anymore. He consulted a lawyer friend who confirmed Evelyn's actions violated state property laws and HOA regulations. Marcus prepared a dossier. Emails, forum screenshots, footage, and bylaws, all meticulously organized. Evelyn's next move was bolder. She filed a formal complaint with the HOA, accusing Marcus of misusing the charger and disrupting community standards. The board scheduled a hearing, and whispers spread like wildfire. At the community pool, Marcus overheard snide remarks. Why does he need that fancy car? The word "he" carried a weight he knew too well. He attended every HOA meeting, his presence a quiet challenge. Evelyn's allies pushed for a new rule banning external equipment, their eyes flicking toward him. The neighborhood split. Some supported Evelyn, swayed by her talk of standards. Others stayed silent, unwilling to cross her. Marcus's startup suffered as he diverted hours to research, his team noticing his distraction. Late nights blurred into early mornings, his desk littered with legal notes and coffee cups. He found allies in unexpected places, a young couple who'd faced Evelyn's wrath over their fence, an older retiree who admired Marcus's calm resolve. They shared stories of her overreach, building his case. The hearing loomed, and Evelyn's confidence grew. She canvassed neighbors, her clipboard a symbol of her power, collecting signatures for her proposed ban. Marcus noticed her car parked across his street at odd hours, her silhouette watching his house. He double-checked his evidence, his resolve hardening. This wasn't just about a charger. It was about his place in Willow Creek, about every person who'd been targeted for being different. He prepared for the hearing like a general for battle, knowing Evelyn's trap was set. But he had one of his own, built on truth and evidence, ready to turn her scheme against her. The HOA meeting room was a pressure cooker, the air thick with anticipation. Folding chairs lined the community center, filled with neighbors whose whispers hushed as Marcus walked in, his laptop and a thick folder under his arm. Evelyn sat at the front, her clipboard pristine, her posture radiating certainty. The board president, a nervous man in his 60s, called the meeting to order. Evelyn stood, her presentation polished, projecting photos of Marcus's charger on a screen. She called it an eyesore, a public resource he was hoarding, her words laced with righteous indignation. Neighbors nodded, some out of habit, others out of unease. Marcus waited, his face calm but his pulse racing. When his turn came, he rose, his voice steady as he connected his laptop to the projector. He began with the facts. His permits, approved by the HOA, displayed in crisp detail. He showed emails from Evelyn, her tone shifting from polite to accusatory, each one a brick in her campaign. Then came the security footage. The room fell silent as the screen showed Evelyn, illuminated by a streetlight tampering with his charger at night. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Marcus didn't pause. He presented charger logs proving no unauthorized use, dismantling her public property claim. Then the knockout blow. Screenshots from the community forum, her past posts targeting minority homeowners, paired with public records of her failed complaints. The pattern was undeniable. Evelyn's crusade wasn't about rules. It was about prejudice. His lawyer friend, seated in the audience, cited state laws protecting private property and prohibiting discriminatory HOA actions. Evelyn's face flushed, her arguments unraveling. She stammered, claiming misinterpretation, but the evidence spoke louder. A neighbor, emboldened, admitted to seeing Evelyn's signs before Marcus removed them. Another confessed to feeling coerced by her influence. The board president called for a vote to dismiss her complaint. Hands rose swiftly, unanimous. Evelyn's clipboard slipped, clattering to the floor. Marcus stood tall. His trap, built on truth, had exposed her for all to see. The aftermath reshaped Willow Creek. The HOA issued a formal apology, posted on the community board and online, acknowledging the baseless complaint. Evelyn's influence collapsed. Neighbors who'd followed her lead now avoided her, their support evaporating. The board, under pressure, revised its bylaws, adding explicit protections against discriminatory actions. Marcus contributed to the language, ensuring transparency in future disputes. He went further, leveraging his tech skills to launch a community app tracking HOA decisions, downloads surging as neighbors embraced the tool. His charger remained untouched, a quiet symbol of his victory. Evelyn's house went up for sale months later, her departure marked by a silent moving truck. Marcus's startup regained its stride, his focus sharper than ever. Neighbors who'd once avoided him now stopped to chat, their smiles genuine. The community pool, once a place of whispers, buzzed with friendlier conversations. Online, his story spread, amplified by X posts where users shared similar HOA battles, sparking discussions on systemic bias. Marcus reflected on the ordeal, the weight of being targeted heavy but familiar. He wasn't just a homeowner defending his property. He was a catalyst for change. The emotional toll lingered, nights spent doubting his place, the sting of coded remarks, but so did his triumph. Willow Creek wasn't perfect, but it was better. He wondered, how many others fought these battles alone? What would it take for communities to truly embrace difference? His story wasn't just a win. It was a challenge to every neighborhood, every person, to confront bias head-on. Would Willow Creek's new chapter last? Only its people could decide. But Marcus had shown them how to start.